What is up, you guys? I'm Jasmine Kylene here with the Unlimited Power Show, and we are hitting the streets of Miami to talk to you guys specifically about the stigma around mental health and therapy, and why is it so weird to talk about? Because there is power in conversation, people, so we just have to get the conversation started. Let's see what you have to say. First thing is first, would you be ashamed to tell somebody that you are thinking about seeking a therapist?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Or I wouldn't either.
Either.
No.
No?
No. Yes.
You would be?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
No? And so why or why? So why no?
Because I think that you just have to be open to like everybody on like what you're doing, like what you're going through.
Right, I agree. Why no?
I don't know, because like sometimes you don't know what your problem is.
Right.
Of course. I feel I've been in situations where I feel like talking to someone would have definitely helped. A lot of people keep things inside, and it's not a good thing to have. My cousin passed away because he kept a lot of things inside, and I just advise like everyone just to speak out and to show your problems. I mean, you don't have to show it to the world, but people that are really close to you and that you trust.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
I think it's dependent upon the community, and I think the community also shows that it's harder for people to seek help because the community is judgmental.
Right.
How's it going, powerful people? My name is Edward Giles, and thank you so much for tuning back into another episode of the Unlimited Power Show, the personal development talk show, which is your go-to for your mental, physical, and spiritual health. And without any further ado, today I'm sitting down with the lovely Reverend Dr. Nadine Dorcerly.
Pleasure.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Are you looking really good today?
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
One thing I always say on the show is I like for you to give yourself an introduction. Tell us what you're all about, what you stand for, and
Sounds fine.
what's your purpose.
That's great. So first of all, let me say hello to your audience. I'm very pleased to be here this afternoon with you in studio to film this, because it is always my desire and my heart wish to be able to help, to be able to serve. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here and be able to do this. Once again, thank you. So hello everyone. My name is Reverend Dr. Nadine Dorcerly. I am first and foremost an ordained chaplain and minister, but I'm also a psychotherapist who loves God and who loves to serve the community at large. I have been trying to help people not only as a ministry, but also as part of something that I do, something that I love to do, which is mostly community service. I have a little live show that I do on Facebook. I call it Frisky Living, because I believe in having a mental health, a spiritual health, as well as a physical health. So using a holistic approach, I try to bring all of that friskiness into the world, and I try to share it with everyone and anyone who wants to receive it. That is who I am, and that is what I do, and really, I am so pleased to be here this afternoon to spend a little time with you.
Well, thank you for sharing your light. I love the energy. I see your Facebook videos.
You do? I do have a lot of enthusiasm,
enthusiasm is contagious.
Yes, it is.
And speaking of enthusiasm, what's the opposite of enthusiasm?
Oh my God, boredom.
Exactly. Boredom,
tiredness,
sluggishness.
Yes.
No desire for life.
Yes, exactly.
So as a psychotherapist, as someone in that industry, you need to give rise to, to fuel somebody's spirit and somebody's mind as well. So tell us about your practice. I mean, how did you get into that?
That's fine. I have been into, I've loved psychology and I've loved counseling for as long as I can remember. Okay, my practice is called Serenity Counseling Services. We do have offices between Broward and Palm Beach County. I see clients there. I wear many hats, as you can tell. As a minister, I try to incorporate into this practice the holistic approach, where I don't just focus I'm more like what you would call like a pragmatic practitioner that kind of like I incorporate many theories into my practice just so I can be more effective to the public. Because I feel like I don't so much stay until the why and who of the theories. I just go for whatever works based on whoever my patient is. Because I have tried to integrate the two, mental health and spiritual health. That is basically what I base my practice on. Because although as a minister, I try to kind of like not too much push it on anybody. This is, if you want it, I'm able to provide that part for you. But I try to at least give my clients a choice so that they know that this is available for you. Because I'm more interested in your whole self,
right?
The mind, the body, the soul. Because I feel like any human being, you have to have the three. That's my personal perception. That's my approach.
What's mental? We define mental health and then define spiritual health, so people understand what exactly those two are.
Well, when you're talking about mental health, you're talking about the health of your mind. The health of your mind, okay, your psyche, your brain, you have to
that
be.
in Creole?
Ok, là n'a parlé, comme nous toujours ap 10 ans mimio. D'ailleurs, merci, bonsoir, ou nous introduit nous là, tous amis qui ap gade sous live là. Moi c'est dans studio moi hier soir, m'a parlé de practice moi, m'a parlé de ça moi fait, de qui moun moi. Comme nous connaissons, moi son ordained chaplain, moi son chaplain, moi son ministère au service de Dieu. Mais aussi moi son psychothérapeute qui fait thérapie pour moun. Alors comme moi te promets, non, c'est de ça n'a parlé là. Li sot mandem pour me définir qui ça santé mentale lié et qui différence qui gagne entre santé mentale et santé spirituelle. Comme moi toujours a dit nous sous Frisky Living, santé mentale nous important. Santé mentale là lui-même, c'est toute bagaille qui en rapport avec mentalité nous et pensée nous, pas vrai? J'en nous voir la vie, j'en nous percevoir la vie, comment pour nous toujours une bonne santé mentale. C'est ça que fait moi toujours à parler sur Frisky Living. Moi dit nous santé mentale là important parce que l'on repos d'esprit, l'on à vivre en sérénité, l'on à vivre dans la paix. Donc, ou pas dans quelle sorte de problème mental, parce que dépression, anxiété, tout bagage ça fait partie de santé mentale là, ok? Tandis que santé spirituelle là lui-même, c'est là qu'on y a là où une connexion spirituelle avec un power. You relate ça en anglais a higher power, the spiritual, the higher power. You are connected with a source. You're connected with something. So c'est ça n'a parlé là de santé mentale. Santé spirituelle. Nous pas fait Frisky Living à soi, mais nous dans studio quand on a fait un show télévisé. I just explained it to them, okay? So the spiritual, like I said, is concerned more about that force, that energy, that power that's higher, that being or whatever you may call it for yourself, and the mental is when your mind is at peace, when your thoughts are regulated, when you feel, that you're living without any stress, any distress, any anxiety, any depression, any other disorders that you may come up with.
You would say that both of them is a connection.
Oh,
The mental health is a connection to yourself, the spiritual health is a connection
to a higher power. Absolutely. Well put.
That's beautiful.
Well put. That's beautifully way to put it.
So when you think about connecting to ourselves, how do we understand what's going on with us?
Well, first of all, as you know, I believe in different theory because, like I said, I'm pragmatic.
Exactly.
There are some psychoanalysis, cognitive behavior analysis, all types of theories out there. There's hundreds of them, if not thousands. But when you connect with your mind, when you connect with yourself, your inner self, for example, a lot of people know that if you suffer some kind of a trauma, if you live in a bad environment, if you, the way you were raised, the way you perceive the world, your perception has a lot to do with your mental health, the way you see things, the way you envision things, So I feel like when you get to find your inner self, that inner peace in you, you're able to stabilize your mental health. Because in my opinion, that connection with self is important. You have to know who you are. You understand?
Yeah.
In your mind, you have to be at peace with the individual that you are. And when you have that connection with your inner thoughts, your inner self, you're more able to connect with it, number one, and resolve some issues. So when we have all those inner conflicts and internal conflicts and battles within ourselves,
You're right.
then we cannot have that mental peace, that mental connection.
That mental connection.
Okay, so it's a resolution. It's finding that stable,
Stabilizer.
Exactly, within yourself, within your thought process, within your way you envision this world. At least that's my perception of it. That's how I look into it.
Yeah, I love that meaning. Also, think about a client that came to you for your services and maybe they had a disconnection with themselves. How did you see them transform into connecting with themselves? What was the shift that they made? What was that ha-ha moment where they like, oh, I kind of get myself now? Tell us about it.
Yeah, because people lose themselves how?
Yeah.
Because either they suffer something has to have happened to them at some time, at some point of their lives. So basically what you try to do, that's why psychotherapy is talk therapy, because you got to talk it out. You got to get to the core of the problem with the patient, of the client. You have to understand, why is this person, because all human beings, what do we want out of life? We want love, we want peace, we want, to be happy, we want to be prosperous, we want to be loved.
Yeah.
You want to be loved. That's, most people think it's money, it's prosperity. That comes afterwards. So most people have inner struggles because they have not connected with that I part. The I part.
The I part. Let's backtrack there.
Okay.
The concept in spirituality, which I find very interesting when you think about the Holy Spirit and you think about yourself, but then when you take that out of the church, there's still the same concepts. What I see that in the spiritual world, in the universal world, in the actual world, and versus the church, they're same concepts, just translated and renamed, reframed, redirected. So they talk about the other self, which is the I. So imagine you standing in the mirror and you're looking at yourself and you said, I can't believe I was acting this way for this long period of time without noticing. Like you said, people don't reflect until something bad happens and they're like, oh, I gotta reflect. Most people don't say, let me reflect just because I'm a human being.
Yes.
Right? So what is the comparison between that other I and the Holy Spirit inside of you?
Well, thank you. That's a great question, because it's going to take me to the spiritual part, which I love talking about as well. And to finish the second part of your question, when I'm dealing with a client like this that's feel disconnected with the I, that's who that person truly is, because when you confuse, when you distress, when you under stress or anxiety and depression takes over you, you are disconnected with yourself. You are disconnected with that inner power, that inner strength that all of us have inside of us. So when you connect with the I, you, usually I have a little practice that I like to tell people. I send them, to my client, I send them either those, motivational tapes or those, those, I am this, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am successful. You know what I'm saying? Because your mouth, there's so much power in your words. So to believe something, to say something.
You're right. You're giving energy to, every time you say I am, you're giving energy to the I that's hidden inside of you, right?
That's it. Absolutely.
Yesterday I had an interview with a young lady and she talked about how she has suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
And she was going through it, but then she went through one meeting and her encounter with God.
Wow.
She said her life shifted from there.
It shifted.
Because God disrupted the story and connected not only to God, but to her I inside of her.
That's right, because we are part of the I, the big I am. And a lot of people don't know that, because when you say I am this, you take the name of the great I am and you put it on you. You connect yourself to it, because it is, as he said, the great I am. So when you pronounce over your life, and it goes both ways, it goes either to the positive way or the negative way. Because when you say, and I always say to my client that when I'm doing at least a kind of like spiritual counseling with them, I said, when you say with your mouth, which has a lot of power that you throw into that universe, I am this. So you take the name of the Almighty, the Holy Spirit, like you just mentioned it. You say, I am. So you are connecting yourself right then and there with the great mighty I am. So you take his name and you put it on you because we are connected, all of us, whether you like it or not, to that great I am. So when you take those attributes of the great I am and you said, I am, beautiful. I am successful. I am at peace. I am confident. So you take his name, you put it on you, and the connection is there right there. And when you do it the opposite way and you said, okay, you know what? I am broke. I am this. I am that. You know what you do? You not only you disrespect that great I am, in a way, but you send that negative energy into the universe, and guess what?
It comes back.
Your words. You are what you say you are. Okay? So it comes back to you. So when you connect with your inside, your inner you, okay, the great I that is inside of you, that's when you can find that peace, that serenity, and that connection with yourself and with the universe or the great source, whatever you want to call it. Okay?
You know, in the Haitian community, and also I guess in the Black community in general, when you say I have anxiety or depression, it'd be like there's a spirit. We're going jabsu.
Oh, yes, we got to talk about that.
Right?
Yes.
There's a spirit on you.
Yes.
I say that, but in a way, although there's a stigma behind it, there is some truth. Because when you think about it, there is a devil of fear.
But we are spiritual beings.
All of those they are spirits drowning our souls in such a way. And when we connect to God, we're kind of finding off those spirits.
Absolutely.
So talk about that some.
Okay, I truly believe that we are all human beings are spiritual beings. Okay, this to me is a shell. And soon enough, it dies and rots, okay? But who we are is the spirit, okay? And that spirit is part of what God gave to us and is part of God. So en créole, m'a parlé kounya la de l'esprit. Li so di mwen, est-ce que esprit bon Dieu, qui c'est grand créateur là, moi-même, moi, dis le créateur là, esprit là, nous-mêmes, nous chaque, nous connecter avec esprit ça. OK? Parce que nous-mêmes, nous sommes des êtres spirituels. OK? Alors, when you connect to that great spirit, in our community, in the Haitian community in particular, okay, we have a lot of stigmas about the spiritual world, about mental health, about what's good and what's not.
Everything we don't know.
Everything we don't understand, we attribute it to the devil.
Yeah.
Okay? So, as you know, there is good and there is bad. There's a pole north and there's a north pole and a south pole. And to each plus, there is a minus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, we can't deny the existence of the negative spirits out there.
Yes.
But I always try to tell my viewers, my patients, my clients, whatever you want to call it, that don't give that much power to that negativity. Because I'm all for positive talking, positive self-assessment, positive self-talk, positive, it's because when you attract the positive comes to you. But if you attracting and projecting and talking negative all the time, the negative will come to you. So in the Haitian community, it is very common that people will say, oh my God, ti moun nan malade, son mauvais esprit ki sou li. Ti moun sa fou, son esprit ki fait le fou. Tandis que yo pa ale nan côté mental là, côté moun nan gen doit c'est stress qui fait le kouri. Vous comprenez? Il gen doit biologique, il gen doit, psychologique, il gen doit tout spirituel qui fait moun nan malade. Vous comprenez? So maladie mentale là, maladie spirituelle là, li nan communauté haïtienne nan en pile. Parce que nous believe, nous croyons en pile dans le monde spirituel là. Parce qu'on est origine nous sorti racine nous, c'est en Afrique nous sorti, nous sommes peuple qui racine nous sorti non croyance nous sorti dans bagay sa yo. Vous comprenez ça m'dou là? Ça commence à changer parce que en pile haïtien qu'on y a là commencé à reconnaître bon Dieu, à reconnaître grand force, grand esprit positif là. Vous comprenez? Mais gagne de moun k'ap chita là k'ap dou Nadine so ap di là parce que esprit guinéen yo respecté yo worship yo, même gens yo worship ou même worship bon Dieu pam. Alors nous pas vinn critiquer. We don't come here to talk badly about people's beliefs in that spiritual world. We don't come to do that or put it down or deny their own personal beliefs because we respect everybody's faith or belief, especially as a chaplain. I have to be intercultural, interfaith. I have to accept everybody like they are. But in our Haitian community, that spiritual the importance that we give to the spirit, the Guinée, the esprit guinéen, sometimes is not so much to our benefit. Li pa bénéficier nous parce que li fait même mentalité nous, li fait nous pas ouais que gen l'autre raison qui ka fait un monde malade, qui ka fait un monde perdu tête li, gon ti problème mental. Ouais, moi toujours dans Frisky Living m'a parlé de énergie positif, rete côté monde qui positif, parler positif sous tête ou. Vous comprenez ça m'dou là, attirer esprit positif là, c'est li k'ap vinn joindre nous. Mais mesdames, messieurs, toute bagaille pas sorti dans loi Guinée. Alors pas pédé dit depuis moun nan gon ti maladie, surtout ti maladie mentale pour nous dire bon, c'est un loi honte dans tête li, son esprit k'ap tourmentel. And people do that too, even in the Christian world. It doesn't have to be in just the Haitian community, but even in the Christian world, my friend Edward, they believe sometimes that, I mean, as a, I study a little bit of theology. People are thinking like, okay, the devil is a liar. The devil is doing this. The devil is doing that. Yes, the devil exists. Yes, the devil has power over your mind, your body, even your soul. But don't attribute that power. Not attribute to, always to the devil, and because
you give him power.
You give him more power.
When you say the name of God, you say, when I'm in my sleep and I'm about to fall, I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel.
That's right.
And I gave him power. But if I said, the devil is a lie, I'd fall right on.
Why are you naming him?
Keep on falling.
He
right?
hears you too.
Well, if I said that, I guess, you giving him power when you speak his name.
Exactly.
So how do we begin to empower ourselves? The title of this show is called The Unlimited Power Show.
Yes.
Right? And I see that even as if you're a Christian or whatever religion that you have, you attribute a certain power to God. But do you believe that us as beings, that we have that same power, at least have a fragment of that same power to take control of our own lives? Because a lot of times you say, bye bon jelly, bye bon jelly, bye bon jelly. And when it's for your mental state, you can't, you can't just pray everything away. Sometimes you have to, have to face it.
Yes, sir. C'est ça que fait sous Frisky Living moi-même. Moi toujours ap di, communauté haïtienne, yo pas connaît en pile ni yo pas engagé yo trop dans psychothérapie, dans mental health. C'est un tabou, un bagay qui tabou lié, son bagay spirituel. Yo pas garder le niveau spirituel, non. Son bagay son stigma. This is a stigma in the Haitian community. Mental health is almost like a taboo or stigma because based on some common things, and practical reasons too. Because we come here, we are a nation of immigrants. We come here, we're working hard, they're working 2 jobs or whatnot. They don't have the time or sometimes the resources to seek the mental health. And also sometimes there is the level of mistrust based on what we just discussed. Because in our culture, we really, when somebody is looking at somebody who's experiencing some kind of mental disorder, we attribute it to a cultural belief instead of the medical belief, of the psychotherapeutic belief.
Right.
We don't have that knowledge. So we have to kind of teach people, even in the church communities, that sometimes you have to learn that, yes, the same power that came from the source is also in you. He made us at his image. That's what the Bible says. Okay, the scripture says that. So I don't use that word lightly by saying that we are, but I'm going to say it anyway, just so the audience can understand it. So, but please don't take it literally, okay? If I have my child, she carries my DNA, correct?
That's true.
Si moi petit, ti moun nan pa DNA moi en ti moun nan. Pa vrai sang moi c'est même sang avec li gagné. So si nous c'est petit bon Dieu, DNA bon Dieu en dans nous. Si bon Dieu gon power la Kylie, power ça en dans nous tout. Li transmettre pas vrai nous héritier power. So in a way, I do believe that if we are all God's children and we are made according to scripture, people out there may have their other beliefs, but according to scriptures, the scriptures, that we are children of God. If we are children of God, therefore we have to carry God's attributes within us. And that's where we go down to your question. We have that little unlimited power inside of us.
We have that spirit of creation.
We have the spirit
of creation.
Of creator, the creator inside of us.
I mean, how did this table come to be? Some person thought about it. those brainwaves and frequency down to the basic format. When you go underneath matter of this table, it's energies, frequencies, and vibrations.
Absolutely.
The same formula of our thoughts.
Yes, sir.
Which means just thinking about this table, we've created it with our minds.
That's right. Somebody had to thought how many legs it's gonna have, what shape it's gonna have,
Right.
what kind of thing I'm gonna. Somebody thought it out.
Somebody thought it out. And we would never be able to do this show here behind this camera had somebody not thought it out.
Exactly.
And how do you think God creates? Couldn't God just say, let's create the earth with cameras, iPhones, smartphones, TVs? He could have done the whole selection.
But he made us.
He made
his
us to
little
make it.
to make it. He gave us the gifts. That's why you don't take any gifts that you have lightly. I always say to the Haitian community, utilisez talent nou. Parce que nous chaque gon ti talent en dedans nous. Li sorti dans source là. Parce que source là lui-même son source pouvoir lié, son source positif lié. Li sort parler là, l'on moun pas créer un petit table comme ça. Gon menuisier qui chita qui dit OK, m'pa font belle petit table, m'a bal ti forme ça, m'a met ti vernis ça sous li. Alors, là nous dit comme ça que nous avons pouvoir illimité en dedans nous, ça fait nous ka dire, c'est parce que nous sorti nos sources de pouvoir illimitées.
Exactly.
Et lui-même, li ba nous inspiration, li ba nous talent yo, li ba nous don yo pour nous créer. So, le créateur nous a donné le droit de créer avec notre esprit. Li ba nous ti droit, li ba nous ti don, ti talent. C'est de ça n'a pas parlé là.
And it's the same thing as in like your thoughts are like light. You know what I mean? Like you said, when you're expressing your enthusiasm, it's an expression of what's internal. You're expressing what's inside, outside with your words.
Absolutely.
Right? So our thoughts operate at the speed of light. As I speak now, something came to your head really fast, just like the speed of light.
Yeah.
So basically inside of you have so much light and desire to get
Yes,
out.
exactly.
So how important is it that we get our light out through our talents? Because in any community, if you don't feel like there's a reason for your purpose and you go into a job that's stressing you out, there's nothing pulling you, it's easier to be prone to, go into that darkness mentally.
Yeah. It's
So,
very easy.
How
Because
do we
life is not
find-
easy.
How do we find something to anchor us and keep our spirit of enthusiasm alive?
Life is not easy. And to be completely honest with you, again, that's why myself, I use this term a lot. And I'm trying to do that little community service where on my little live shows, I'm incorporating that idea to the Haitian community. Because the light is inside all of us. But we got to know how to pull it, how to preserve it, so that it doesn't dim, okay? So the important things to do is to always see life in a positive way, okay? C'est important. Ok, n'a parlé kounya la de lumière qui en donne, si étincelle qui en donne, tout gagne. Pas quitter ti étincelle la mourir la kay non, parce que c'est lui-même leur petit don, un petit talent en dedans pour être positif, c'est pouvoir positivité cap kembe étincelle la en dedans. So it's really the power of the mind there. Okay, it's the power of the mind. That now we go back to that point, to the mental health. It's how you perceive the thing that's going to create and keep that light or pull the light out of you as a human being. And when you pull it out, there are things to do to maintain it. It's just like a candle. You understand what I'm saying? Rain is going to come, but you have like to put something so that your light doesn't get
And
extended.
if it's dim, go to the source.
Go to the source.
And just get some power.
Get some power. Get connected.
I love it.
Get connected.
Get connected.
Get connected.
And you're getting connected here on the Unlimited Power Show. I'm sitting here with Reverend Nadine, and we're having a beautiful conversation about taking a holistic approach to your mental health. And we were talking about so many great things.
Yes, we are.
Let's shift back to therapy.
Okay.
When somebody comes to you
Okay.
and you've talked to them about, you've really uncovered what's going on. You've discovered what's their story that they're telling themselves.
The story is important.
The story is very important. What are some stories that people usually tell themselves? I mean, nothing specific, but what are some common things that people go through?
Okay, a good way, therapists, what we do, we listen. It's talk therapy. We sit, we listen. We have to know where you're coming from, because you cannot understand a human being unless you understand where they've been from. Where they're from, what they've done, what's going on in their lives. I have encountered many stories. One of the things that I do couples therapy as well. So a lot of it comes from not just the background of the person or the environment that they have they come from, but also, like I said before, from some misconceptions about or perceptions of their own selves. You understand? If I believe this table is going to hurt me, in my mind, unless somebody teaches me, no, it's not. It's just a table. Calm down. Realize that it's not harmful. I'm still going to have that belief. So you have to get the person's story in order to understand their belief system. What is it that's bothering them? Because if I'm depressed, there is a cause and there is an effect. What causes me to be depressed? So the story that I've heard people, basically that have suffered either abuse when they were young. So there is a story there. There's a story of either physical, mental, or sexual abuse. So you have to understand the story. I cannot disclaim any case right now that I've had right now in public, but most people have either been affected. Like I said, the story contents of human beings are usually almost similar to each other, because the source of mental health, the confusion, the depression, usually it may differ from me to you, but as humans, because of that connection that we have as humans, it's usually like almost the same. It's pain, it's suffering, I cannot deal with this pain, it's overwhelming me. Therefore, I develop some kind of a mental disorder because I'm escaping it, I'm staying away from it, I can't deal with it, I can't, deal with it. So the stories are different from each individual, okay? From each individual. But the great or major stories that I've had are either connected to mental abuse, physical abuse, or sexual abuse. To me, this would be like 3. There's many more. But to me, because I do grief as well. I also do grief counseling.
Let's talk about the correlation between grief and breakups.
And breakups? Well, grief is a trauma as anything else. It's loss. You break up with somebody, that's a loss. And it could be all kinds of breakup. It could be a breakup from, I don't know if you're talking exactly about a relationship breakup.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
And now we broke up.
Oh, yeah. You go to the 5 stages of grief.
Those are a lot of grieving stages.
Because it's separation. It's a loss. Okay, I did a show on Frisky Living where and I'm planning to do another one about grief. Grief is connected to a loss. It's a trauma. You suffer a trauma. And separation and loss is also a trauma. So when you lose something, when you get, you break up with somebody, it's a loss. There's a lot of stages that you're going to go through before you can basically quote unquote, cope with that grief. Okay? Because it's like you go through the stages of grief, you go through them just like anything else because you lose something. And we are made to love as human beings. We're like the Creator. We are loving, caring people. Circumstances may change that. Personalities may have changed that. But all of us want love. So when we lose love, we grieve. Yeah. We grieve. We get disconnected.
We don't find it inside ourselves. We don't find it somewhere else. Then somebody else took it from us. They say that when you was a kid, you were risking, people were taking away your sense of happiness and sense of love. Oh, you don't do that. But you were just so happy and, hey, I'm just a kid enjoying life. Yeah. So people were taking it away. When you become an adult, you depend on people to give you that love.
That's
You're like,
true.
oh, I want you in my life. When you was a kid, you was giving love and people was refusing that.
Of course. And a lot of therapists will tell you about the theories of nature versus nurture. You know what I mean? That's why it's important. Even I know we're going from here to there with this show now because there's so much to talk about. Even a child, like you just said, if you don't nurture this child, he might turn out into a psychotic human being. You know what I'm saying? So you have to give love. You have to nurture people. You have to nurture your relationships because that's what made us human.
And let's talk about that, the dynamic between parents and the children and how that affects them long term.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, just the conversation and the way
my
they talk.
gosh.
Just touch that briefly, 'cause that's big.
Oh my goodness. I cannot emphasize enough the power of a parent, mother, father has over the life of a child. Okay? And it starts from the crib. It starts from that nurturing part that we were just talking about. Because if you don't nurture that child, if you don't invest into that child, basically by putting good stuff like a little seed for them to turn out and grow up to be a good, kind, gentle, human being. That's why we have criminals. That's why we have that. So a parent is important. And I'm not one to say that one parent cannot raise a child, because there's many single parents out there. But when it's two parents, there's so much to gain for the child, raising that child. Now, if the parents are stable, we got to say that.
Yeah.
Okay? Because there are some parents out there that are messing up their children. Better the child be adopted or be, don't have those parents at all. But if those parents are stable and good parents, you cannot take away a parent from a child and not see the child suffer some kind of a trauma, one way or another, at a level, at a low or high level. You know what I'm saying? Because a parent has an important role to play in the life of a child, because this child depends on those parents.
So if you were to tell a parent, listen, these 3 things, make sure you do them so your kid turns out okay and they don't go to jail, they don't become a vagabond. What would you tell them?
Go question, go cause.
Things.
Bon fortifier encore. Li mandem ki 3 bagay, si m'tap ba un parent conseil, ki sa m'tap di yo pour petit yo pa gaye, pour petit yo pa tourner déjouer. Premier bagay, m'a dit li en créole, m'tap di parent fait, c'est remettre ti moun nan, bay ti moun nan love. Give the child love. Love, love, love. Love and affection. Okay? Love and affection. Et c'est premier bagay m'a tap di, bay ti moun nan affection, bay ti moun nan love. Okay? Deuxième bagay m'a tap di parent, c'est pour lui faire attentif à besoin ti moun nan. Parce que comme moi dis là, c'est faut qu'on nurture ti moun nan, faut bal parole là, mais faut qu'on prendre bon soin ti moun nan. Safety ti moun nan important, environnement ti moun nan important. So I would say secondly for the parent to basically meet the needs of the child. Mental needs, physical needs, give them food, shelter, what I'm saying, along with the love and protection and safety along with the love. Okay? So we said love, we said meet the needs of the child. Okay? And the third thing I will say to, there's a lot, but I will say to a lot of people ignore that. They don't think of children as little people. They are little people. Timoun c'est un ti moun ni. C'est un ti mais moun ni.
Yeah.
Ti moun nan gen sentiment. Ti moun nan gen caractère li. So m'tap di client, I would tell the parent, be attentive to the child, not just their needs, physical needs, but listen to your child. Treat them as human beings. They're little people. They have feelings. So be mindful of their feelings. When they talk, listen to them. They are little people. They have a voice.
I love
that. So I would say to all parents, your children have a voice. Learn to listen to them. Learn to pay attention to their emotional needs, psychological needs, as well as their physical and mental.
And I think it's needed now because suicide rates have gone up among kids.
Oh, yes.
And especially among kids because they haven't yet developed the faculties of their mind to be able to handle, if they're little people, they're facing big stress. They're facing a
children
lot
get
of stuff.
stressed out. Yeah.
So
that's why
we have to listen and be able to intervene when it's necessary.
Yes, sir. Because otherwise, you're going to create social paths and people with mental issues. Children are misbehaving because of that.
So when do you know that your kid or you need therapy?
Li mandem ki lò pou konnen le an moun besoin thérapie. Ça son question qui vaste parce que qui l'est pour me connaître as a therapist or qui l'est pour n'importe monde connaît l'on monde besoin de thérapie. When the question you have to narrow it down for
it's
me.
internal. It's like you as yourself. When do you first? When would I know that I need therapy? Like at what stage would I know that I need therapy?
Well, here's the thing, Edward. Here's the thing. Most people don't know it because they are in denial, like they said. It takes somebody sometimes to point it out to them. But some people do need it because when you start like feeling that, hey, my thought process are not right. I'm not focused. I can't concentrate. I'm confused about things. I'm not myself. You know, you feel depressed. You feel too much sadness. You feel too much anxiety. You feel too much, you know, like you're not together. To me, that would be, to some people, I would say, if you feel like that, you should know the signs, because there are many signs. But unfortunately, a lot of people just don't know it. Because you might be depressed, and it takes somebody else to see the change in your behavior to know, oh my God, what's going on with you? Because when you're in that state of depression, you might not know that you are in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say me, myself, this year, I think 2018 and 2019, I went through like a deep spiritual development, and not just spiritual in a religious aspect, but just kind of like getting more in tune with a lot of things. And I went through a month where I was really depressed, but then I realized when I stepped back 2 years ago, I was like, whoa, I was depressed for like I was going through like some really tough times for like a whole year, and I had no clue. But when I had that development of my mind, of my spirit, of being in tune and all these different things, because I meditate and I read a lot and I've been praying and listening to God and asking for direction, or just being in tune, listening to my thoughts. When I came out of all that, I stepped back into a year ago, and I was like, yo, I was broken.
That's why it's important to know the I, to know yourself. If you see something different about yourself, to answer your question, know that something's not right. But you cannot know something's not right unless you know the true you. So it's important for you to know who you are.
In learning
self-assessment, self-evaluation, do all of that.
How do we, you see, that's exactly what happened. I guess those 2 years was me really learning who I was, and then I was able to step back in my mind's eye and see myself in the past and understand.
We are all a work in progress. Okay? Nous tous, amis mio, c'est petit progrès à faire dans la vie. Okay? C'est débat n'a débat. Okay? So apprendre qu'on tête pour capable connaître le petit problème mental, gon bagay qui pas bien dans nous-mêmes pour ka changer ça. C'est question ça se poser là. Okay? So learn to know yourself. Okay? Learn to connect with yourself and know who you are. I know I'm a happy, frisky girl. When I don't feel that friskiness in me, I already know something's not right with me. When I get up in the morning and I'm dragging my feet and nothing kind of like interests me, and I'm losing interest in the fun things I used to do, that's not Nadine. That's not who I am. So I already know my personality traits. I'm outgoing, I'm outspoken, I'm a big mouth, I like to laugh, I like to hang out with my friends and talk and teach or whatever, or counsel. I like those things. But if I see that I have no more desire about doing it, there's something wrong with me. So I need to get into myself. Well, Nadine, what's going on? Ask yourself, what's going on? Why am I not feeling the way I used to feel? So connect with yourself.
And connecting with yourself, what are some things you can say in your head to suppress some of these, well, not suppress, but let them flow out of your head, these thoughts of worry or these thoughts of anxiety? What's some things, mental shifts you can make?
Well, personally, you just said a couple of, you made one of those comments as a minister that I usually say to myself. The devil is a liar. Not today, Satan. You know, but a lot of people use that to push themselves back up. You know what I mean? Ils disent, Satan, jodi an, ou pas besoin de moi. Vous comprenez ça? Jodi an, vieille idée sont maintenant tête moi, c'est pas vrai. C'est menti. M'pas croire dans vous-même, bon Dieu gen pouvoir pour, you know, you kind of like what they said, you empower yourself.
Empowering yourself.
You empower
gotta
yourself.
Give yourself a
That's
mental motivational speech.
Yes.
I do that too. I do that myself sometimes.
Yes.
I'd be like, let's do it. I gotta give myself a mental motivational speech.
Absolutely. A lot of people, I tell them, find a mirror. Say it to the mirror. Listen, today this is not going to go down like that. All right? People aren't going to think you crazy because you're just empowering yourself. Ou juste à bâtir ton petit motivation. You're empowering yourself. You're saying to yourself, This is a bad thought, but you have to be able to recognize this is a bad thought. This is a negative thought. And by knowing who you are, knowing this is not who you used to be, then you have to not only try to empower yourself, but if it comes to the point where you cannot handle it on your own, you have to go and seek some help. Okay, go get some help. Don't carry the whole burden on your own. That's why there's counselors, and if you're in a church, some churches give lay counseling. I've done lay counseling in my church. Find a pastor, find somebody in authority, speak it out. Don't keep it inside. That's another thing, because then it's gonna build up, and then you have no more control over it. Basically, you feel wrong, you feel something is wrong with you, you feel your thought process is not the same. Whether you want to admit that you're depressed or not, you feel the change in you, talk it out. Empower yourself, talk to yourself if you have to, and if that empowerment, self-empowerment is not enough, please, go get help somewhere.
Come to you.
Go get help somewhere. Get to a counselor, get to a therapist, somebody in the mental health community that can help you. And if you don't have the money, comme t'as dit la communauté haïtienne nan, parfois c'est l'argent qui fait ou pas qu'à afford en thérapie, son psychothérapeute, un counselor, on sait si cela. M toujours dit sous Frisky Living, cherche un pasteur. On moun qui pas mettre traiter cause au dehors. On moun nous fait confiance, mais pas qu'embe accumuler émotion nous en dedans nous parce que l'a sorti quand même. En façon, on va projeter le dehors quand même. Que tu voulais, que tu pas voulais. So, parle qu'on y a là, parle venir expérimenter on bad behavior. You're gonna, try to now show up. You're gonna act out. You're gonna start acting out. So once you know who you are, you connect with your inner self. You know already who you are. You know who you are and where you come from. You recognize the source where you're from. You know that from that source there is power. You take that power, you empower yourself with it. And you start proclaiming over yourself. Okay, you cannot do that little self-assert. You assert yourself by saying, I am a good person. I am successful. You keep saying those things over your life and you stay positive. To me, that's the bottom line. Because when you are positive about the world, positivity, A, will come your way, but B, it's also beneficial to your mind, your soul, and even your body. Because your thought process can affect every part of your body.
That's beautiful.
Mental health, physical health, spiritual health. You got to have those three to make it work.
I feel like that's the perfect last message. I was going to ask you what was your last message, and I think that is it.
That is it. Alors moi dis nous, santé mentale nous important, spirituel là important, même gens à santé physique là.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your unlimited power.
Oh my goodness, I feel empowered.
So
thank you.
How do people get in contact with you, connect with you, get counseling from you, watch
yes,
your show?
absolutely. First of all, I am on Facebook, Nadine Dorcerly. I do a little live show every Wednesday night from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. The name of our practice is called Serenity Counseling Services. We do in person, in office. We do over the phone, by Skype. The number to reach me is 754-234-1503. 754-234-1303. Well,
thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Thank you so much. It was a good time. We spent some good
time. That's some really good energy, very high.
Very,
you got my energy level up.
Wow.
I'm usually like...
Well, then I did the job.
When I'm speaking, I'm like, high tone.
All right, then my work here is done.
It's done.
Thank you so much.
But your work is not done. It's just getting started.
Yes.
And thank you so much for tuning into this unlimited power. I want to remind you that you have the unlimited power in you to achieve whatever it is that you want, to become what you want. But first, you have to believe it. You have to believe that you can overcome the thoughts of anxiety, the thoughts of depression, the thoughts that you cannot take control, because you can. Unless you do that, the world will forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So remember, let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. My name is Edouard Gilles, and you just tuned in to Unlimited Power. Peace. All right, that's it.